Fanatics just made a pretty big mistake with a customer's order, which is not necessarily a new thing. I'm sure either you guys have experienced it yourselves, or at the very least have seen it online, someone getting the wrong item, or the item is just like a combination of a couple of teams. It does happen, and unfortunately happens somewhat frequently, and it's usually a pain for that customer. However, this time around, it's actually kind of a good thing. It's definitely an interesting story, so before we do go ahead and show you guys what happened, if you're new to the channel and you like hockey jersey content, please make sure to hit subscribe. I would really appreciate it. All right, let's get into it. So this story comes from a Reddit user named Quantez83. He said that his wife had bought him a birthday present. It was just supposed to be an Ottawa Senators home jersey with Tkachuk on the back. It was a breakaway jersey, but instead of getting that one, he got this jersey right here, which, if you guys have been paying attention, this is the unreleased Ottawa Senators third jersey. They have not even officially revealed this jersey as of right now. They've kind of had a few leaks with it. The first leak, I think, was 4 or 5 months ago from a TV test, and then they did also do their season ticket holder event where they showed this jersey off as well. But even at that season ticket holder event, you couldn't buy the jersey. It was just to showcase what was coming for the next season. So the fact that this guy has the jersey in his hands is pretty crazy. Like, that's a insane screw up on Fanatics' part. I don't know even how that ends up happening. Like, first of all, this jersey looks nothing like the home jersey, but also on top of that as well, why is this jersey in a place where someone can accidentally box it up and ship it out to a customer? Like, I feel like organization wise, that's just a pretty big screw up. So it is an insane thing. I know Fanatics does screw up a lot, and they have some really just baffling screw ups, but this is one of them where it's like, how does that even happen? This is an unreleased jersey. It's not even revealed yet. Like, they haven't even shown this off to the public. It is so funny, but hey, you know what? Good for this guy, and good for us as well, because we actually get to take a look at this jersey. We've seen some photos, but they've been really, really bad photos. The photos that come from leaks usually aren't that great anyway, so it's nice to see some better pictures here. Now, this is a Fanatics breakaway jersey, so it's not like the premium jerseys where it'll have like a little bit better logos and, a little bit better details, so it's not the highest of quality, but still, nonetheless, we actually get real photos of the jersey here, which is so funny. So let's go ahead and kind of dissect it here. The first thing that I realized was, wow, that logo looks pretty different than the regular Ottawa Senators primary logo. First of all, it's not like that bronze like it is on the regular logo. It's an actual gold that has the sparkle to it, which that looks really nice. There's also quite a bit more detail on this logo compared to the regular one. You can see there's that 3D effect on the helmet on the front part as well as the sides. And then with the red part of the logo, you kind of have like those arrows, I guess, or the triangles on the left side. And then you have the right side there, which I think is supposed to be like a 3D effect to just kind of make it stand out a little bit more. Now, I wouldn't say it looks all that great on this logo in particular because it is a breakaway jersey. So you do have to take that into consideration because, yeah, that red part is probably going to look at least a little bit different on the premium and the Fanatic Authentic Pros. I assume all of the kind of darker red spots are going to be raised up a little bit. At least that's my assumption. Obviously, we'll have to wait and see for the actual jerseys if that is the case, but yeah, that is my assumption. Overall though, I think that logo looks nice, and the added details there, I think that could look really, really cool. The next thing that I noticed was the Deboss Arrows inside of that arm stripe. So we've seen this happen more and more where they have these kind of little deboss effects in the sleeve stripes, and yeah, it looks like Ottawa is headed in that direction with this third as well, and that looks pretty cool. I like that aspect a lot as well. Of course, with this closer up image, we can see that the striping is that gold material as well, so that does look nice. And yeah, just from the front here, yeah, it looks like a really solid jersey. We do have the captain's patch there. It's just a black C with that gold around it, but that does look very, very nice. Let's go on to the back so we can see the customization kit here. Once again, it is a Fanatics breakaway, so the customization kits always look a little just not that great on Fanatics breakaway jerseys, but I do like the font there. I think the font looks nice, and I also like the fact that it is outlined in gold like the C is on the front. So I think, if you're looking at a premium version of this jersey or the jersey on ice, I think these will look really, really nice. I actually think the number kits are going to look really cool. Another thing that is interesting though is we can see just at the top of the collar there is a little bit of a word mark. So if I'm not mistaken, I do think that this is a newer word mark for Ottawa. I could be wrong there, but we can see that inside of the A, it is the Peace Tower, which was an element that a lot of people thought was going to be on this jersey, and I guess technically it is, but people thought it was either going to be the front logo or at least a logo on the shoulder patch, which they've had before. But yeah, the only Peace Tower element on this jersey is in that A, that middle A, which is a little bit disappointing. I would have liked to see the Peace Tower be a little bit more of a prominent element on this jersey, but I do think that this word mark is pretty cool, and it's an interesting thing to have on just like the back of the collar there, because, you know, I don't think I've ever seen that on a jersey before, or at least, you know, not in terms of an NHL jersey for a while here. We haven't seen that. So yeah, obviously the Fanatics actual logo will go underneath that. It's not going to be on this jersey because they don't have those on the Fanatic breakaways. But yeah, very, very interesting to see that word mark there. Doesn't really happen all too often. But yeah, so that is the jersey. We get an actual look of this jersey here, which is just so funny to me. It's so funny that Fanatics just screwed up that badly that they sent an unreleased jersey to a fan. It's really humorous. My thoughts on the jersey are quite positive, though. They were positive when I saw the leak a while ago, and they're positive now as well. The only thing that's still weird is the fact that it has the gold stripes along the shoulder yoke, and then it just doesn't go around the shoulder yoke. It just has it on the sides. That is a little bit strange, but I can also understand it looking at this picture, because if you did have it going underneath the shoulder yoke, like across the chest here, it would get in the way of the C, so you'd have to move the C down a little bit, and then that might be a little bit awkward. So I can understand why they wouldn't do that, and honestly, it kind of makes me like the jersey a little bit more because it is unique. It's something different. You know, teams usually don't just have that stripe along the shoulder yoke and that's it. Like, usually it does go all the way around. So yeah, I kind of like that a little bit. It still maybe isn't my favorite aspect of the jersey, but yeah, it's something different for sure. I can understand why people wouldn't like that part though. Other than that though, I don't really have any complaints with this jersey. I'm going to give it a thumbs up. I won't do a ranking. I'll wait for the official reveal and then I'll give a ranking there, just so I can, you know, actually see pictures of not a breakaway jersey, so I can see ones in an authentic pro as well as a premium, just to get a little bit better of a view of it. But for now, yeah, I like this jersey. I think it is pretty cool. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments down below. If you guys like this video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, follow me on all my social medias, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.